It's right up there. I mean, we can do our top 20s of 2022, and you can see where it falls on my list.
Let's do it. We've got 8 minutes before dinner time. Let's do our top
All right, let's go
2022
through
list.
them.
For me, number 20 is Glass Onion.
I have number 20 is a film called Holy Spider.
Never heard of it. What is that?
It is, oh gosh, what country is it from? It's from Iran. It's about a serial kill about a series of serial killings
Cool.
of sex workers.
Oh,
Guy thinks he's like, cleaning up the city by murdering sex workers.
yucky.
It's wild. Yeah.
My number 19 is The House.
Oh, my number 19 is a different kind of animation. It's Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
I don't like that movie very much. Too much Mussolini, not enough weird afterlife stuff. My number 18 is like the end of my it's sort of like the last gasp of my Marvel fandom, but it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, fun one. I do like that one. Mine is a movie called Close. It was one of the best international film nominees from that year, submitted by Belgium. So my number 18 is the Belgian film Close.
Cool. My number 17 is, and I know you don't have documentaries on your list, but I have, I think, just this one. Fire of Love story / insane person story about people who study volcanoes.
Yes, I do have that high on my documentary list. I do love that movie. My 17 is another one from the international film list from Argentina. It's called Argentina 1985.
Dying to watch this movie.
Oh, so good. You'll love it.
My number 16 is Matilda the Musical. I saw this on Broadway and was obsessed with it. And when I found out it was going to be a movie, I was really excited, and it did not disappoint.
Awesome. I haven't actually watched that yet, but we love the movie, the DeVito movie in our house. So I should watch that. My number 16 is, I know, one that will come up a little bit later on your list, but is the Irish film The Quiet Girl.
Oh, yeah, it's coming way later on my list. I'm obsessed with this movie. My number 15 is Top Gun Maverick.
Nice. My number 15 is After Yang.
My number 14 is The Northman. It's David Eggers' version of King Lear. If you've seen The Lion King, you've seen this movie, but you haven't seen it like this, highly recommend The Northman. Very cool movie.
Yep, pretty good. My number 14 is Till, the story of Emmett Till.
Never did it. My number 13 is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I was really blown away by how much I enjoyed this movie.
It's really good. I'm actually a little surprised it's not in my top 20. I might have to reassess at some point, but my number 13 is Glass Onion.
Oh, you had that a little higher. Oh, I remember you liked that a little more than I did, but
yep.
But yeah, it's good. My number 12 is After Yang.
My number 12 is Decision to Leave from South Korea.
Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second a little more. My number 11 is Living. It's the British remake of the Akira Kurosawa movie, Akiru, which is one of the greatest movies of all time. When I saw Living with Bill Nighy in the main role, I remember just feeling like, oh, this movie's a warm blanket, and I'm just all wrapped up in it.
Yeah, it's not in my top 20, but I also really liked it a lot. Yeah, very, very good. My number 11 is The Woman King with Viola Davis.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
My number 10 is Tar, the I Assert Ghost movie starring Cate Blanchett in one of her just maybe best roles of all time.
Yeah, it might be the top for her. Yeah. My number 10 is, I know, one that you will not approve of, but I have After Sun at number 10.
Yeah, it just didn't really click for me. I get why people like it. It just didn't. I don't have a kid. I didn't get much out of this one. My number 9 is Decision to Leave. Park Chan-wook is maybe the most interesting visual director alive. And I may have talked about this on the podcast before, but there are shots that he does with drones in this movie that look so good that it makes me think that Michael Bay should not just retire, but have to give his salary back to people.
I think that's just the least he could do. My number 9 is The Banshees of Inisherin.
That's my number 8.
Nice. My number 8 is Cha Cha Real Smooth.
I really like Cha Cha Real Smooth. At some point, it was on this list, but it's fallen off as I've seen more movies from 2022.
Yep.
He's a really interesting filmmaker. He's just getting started. He made that and Shithouse.
I love Shithouse too.
Yeah, really. I might like Shithouse better. I have Cha Cha Real Smooth rated higher, but I might like Shithouse better. I'm bummed he's going into TV, I think, now, and I just wish he wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd like to see movies.
Yeah, me too. My number 7 is Nope, the Jordan Peele, pretty much his ode to Spielberg, and it's great.
Yeah, very true. And another one that's not in my top 20, but I did like a great deal.
One of my favorite conversations I've ever had about movies was when I came out of that theater and we talked about whether or not the monkey scene should have been in that movie.
Who'd you have it with?
You. It was me and
Ah,
you.
that's right.
Yeah.
And speaking of odes to Spielberg, Spielberg's ode to himself, The Fablemans, is my number 7.
That was another one that had been on this list at one point. The final scene in that movie is one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever.
It's great.
But it did eventually drop off after with all these other ones.
Mm-hmm.
My number 6 is a movie we've talked about on this podcast before, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yes. My number 6 is one that came up earlier on your list, but I have Top Gun Maverick.
Cool. My number 5 is a movie that a lot of people are mad that is on my list for some reason. It is The Whale, which I happen to think is terrific.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of whale haters out there. Whale is another one. I think is good. I'm a little bit mixed on in some reason. It's not in my top 20, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, great, fine.
That
is a reasonable take to be angry with me for loving The Whale is really weird.
I mean, it would be in maybe top 25, top 30 probably for sure. So I mean, it's in there, but I don't know.
A lot of movies came out in 2022.
A lot of good ones. I mean, it was a good year. So people keep saying every year, like, it wasn't a very good year. Like, it's a good year every year if you know where to look.
I totally agree with that. I will say this. I heard someone say, I think it was Sean Fennessy said that this is a great Oscar year because the movies that are going to be nominated for Oscars are movies that people are actually seeing. Mm-hmm. And in that way, 2022 was not a great year, but the movies are good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of movies that people aren't seeing, my number 5 is Women Talking.
Okay. This is an amazing, amazing movie. And I'll just say it's my number 3. Yeah. People should see Women Talking for multiple reasons. One of which is Sarah Polley is one of the best directors going. Yep. And she deserves your eyeballs. 5-star film.
Agreed.
My number 4 is Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won Best Picture for that year and has also got a mixed reputation, but I think it's just because it was so successful at the Oscars.
There's always a backlash against the Best Picture. I mean, every year it happens.
Yeah, this was one where, I mean, maybe it didn't deserve to be Best Picture. Tar is an unreal movie, and such an Oscar movie.
Yeah.
But Everything Everywhere All at Once is great. Get over yourselves.
Yep, it is. I agree. My number 4 is a movie that I don't know how anybody could possibly not love is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Yeah. So it's my number 1. It's such a great movie. I think it's one of the best movies of the last 10 years. I think it's just beautiful. It makes me so mad that there's not a voice acting category because Isabella Rossellini's turn in Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is one of the most touching, heartbreaking performances, and you never see her face. And she's a shell.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. My number 3 is Women Talking.
Yeah. My number 3 is your aforementioned Tar. I have it a little bit higher.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic. I love Todd Field. I've loved he's made 3 movies. They're all great.
Yeah. My number 2 is, you mentioned it before, The Quiet Girl. It's an Irish language movie, of which there are not many, about a girl going to live with friends of the family or distant relatives.
Distant relatives, I think, yeah.
And just having kind of a rough time of it, but mostly it's a sweet movie about her learning that people will be kind to her because her family's not so kind to her. So, great movie.
Yep, it is excellent. And my number 2 is, again, one we discussed at great length on the podcast, is the German All Quiet on the Western Front.
Cool. I already mentioned my number 1 is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
And my number 1 then is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
We have good taste in movies, Jake.
Yes, we do.
We will be back next week, but we don't know with what year yet. Thank you for joining us on Never Did It.